Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to look at how I put roots into my wigs to make this young lady look like this young lady. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Coco and this is Coco's Hair Solutions. Today we're going to finally take a look at how I personally root my wigs. I mostly do it on some of the blondes and the grays and maybe a lighter brown color, just to add some dimension. But you know, there's another reason to put roots in your wigs. Sometimes we get a wig and you can see the wefts very, very easily because the hair is not so dense up there. There's not a lot of permatease, which is something that we want on some of our something that we don't want on some of our styles. We want to have it that little bit of a flatter look. And so they don't put a lot of permatease in these wigs, but because of the lighter cap and the lighter shade of the fibers, we do end up seeing the wig cap frequently or some of the wefting. And so putting roots in there can make it a little more of a disguise. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to put black in or a dark brown inside your at your roots in order to cover those wefts. You can just do a little bit of a darker shade. Let's say like a blonde color. You can cover those wefts and make them less visible. So that's one way to think about doing this. Now what I have here, this is Meg from Paula Young. She's one of my favorites and I wear her on vacation. And if you were watching some of my shorts, you would have seen me wearing this young lady in the storms of South Dakota and the windstorms and the hail and anyway, but she's been through everything and you can tell you can't see any of those wefts. And honestly, I just do the crown area and where the wind might blow it away. You know, we can go underneath and sometimes I'll go back and touch it up. But I find that there are lots of products available to take a look at and to try for doing root cover-up. Now, I have done crayons. I've done powder like this, just powder to put on the roots. But what I have found to be the absolute best are spray root covers. And right now you can tell I have a lot of them because I want to put lots of different color into my wigs. Sometimes when I get a brown that's just too flat, I'll add some red and maybe some darker brown just to add some dimension. But when we're talking about doing our roots, I personally like that silvery gray kind of look. I don't like the brown warmth to it on my gray wigs. So that's what we're going to show you today. And in doing so, I'm going to use black. And the two black colors, that goes to dark brown, and then it's dark blonde, and then blonde and light blonde. And then I have two shades of red, and then I have silver and white. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you what I do first. Before I take my wig off here, this is Liberty by Godiva Secret Wigs. I love this wig. It's a lace front monopart, but since Godiva Secret Wigs added a lace front Freedom, because it's a sister to this one, they have discontinued this wig. But this wig is longer than Freedom, and I prefer, personally for me, I like this one better. If you have an unused Liberty in the shade of English Toffee or Butternut, please contact me at Coco's Hair Solutions at gmail.com. And maybe we can talk about, maybe you could sell her to me. Anyway, that's just a thought. Let me know if you have one of these girls, because this is the only one I have of her and I love her. Okay, let's go ahead and try on the silver Meg without roots and we'll take a look and see. Okay, here's my brand new Meg and I'm going to decide first where I want to part her mostly. Now you can tell she's got a lot of shine on her and I'll be spraying her with dry shampoo to help take care of that. But when I want to add roots, you see how the wefts show? I want to be able to lift this up, add a little bit of height, and maybe even include a little bit of a wispy bang. So I want to have some darkness at the root right through here. And you don't have to make the root dark all the way out here. All you have to do is do it right in the middle. Because with some washings, and here's my old Meg, you can see how it smudges out and softens, and it spreads out a little bit, and it just makes it really nice and soft. So we concentrate on the area that we think we would like to have it parted. And so I'm going to part her over here. I've tried her parting over here on my old one. They're made to part here, so I'm just going to go with it, okay, because she lays there. So now I know when I take this off, I'm going to work on this particular area first, okay? Okay, let me try that. And I might even do the bangs a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at here. So you can see the wefts. So I'm going to take my black, okay? This one, it's black. It says black right there. And either one of these work just fine. So what I do is I take and I hold my hand underneath with the crown right here at top, and that's where I begin. So I kind of part it a little bit. And now I'm going to, after I shake it really good, and I just follow the part all the way down in a single line. Okay, so then what I do is I take my brush and I kind of brush through it a little bit, let it start to dry, and back brush it so I can see more of the wefts. All right, so I know that I've got my part already figured out where I want it. So now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of filling in a little bit where I can see the wefts. So you see that really bright white? I want to soften that a little bit. And see, I'm not using a lot, but see, you can see those wefts. Just that little bit, so that when the wind blows, it's disguised a little bit. You can see it won't be visible, will it? So I'm going to go a little bit past the part there. And see that it's not beginning, it's not really a broad, sweeping kind of area. I'm just adding some cover for those wefts that want to show. Okay, when the wind blows over here, we can definitely see these wefts, can't we? Okay, so I'm just going to spray, lift that up. Okay, see how that works? A little bit more over here. Look at those wefts. You can see those. So just right at the root. Now I'm going to brush it again. Kind of softens it and spreads it throughout. Now that tells me that I've already gotten to the edge of the crown. Okay, so you can see on the inside where it's starting to seep through a little bit. And there's it is. So I'm going to do this other side, because mostly the crown gets blown around. With this short of a hairstyle, there's enough hair here that doesn't get blown up to see any of the wefts. All right, so let's just pull this over a little bit. And just introduce a little bit of this right at the crown at the base. See how that's just those little shots, and that's it. Okay, so that's the edge. I don't know if I need that or not, but maybe I'll just put a little bit at the crown. Yep, up here at the crown. There we go. Okay. Make it a little more uniform. Brush it again. And then I might need to add a little bit more on the front. When we look at this, we have, see, and of course you're going to get some on your fingers, so you might want to wear gloves. anyway, so I'm going to just pull this up, pull it back, and spray a little bit, right? Right in that front area. Going from the part. Okay, let's take that. See there? Pull that back. Pull that back. And it doesn't have to be everywhere. It doesn't have to be solid. Okay, and that little bit right there. There. Now it's starting to come together now. Okay. So then what I end up with is a wig that is disguised. A wig that has the wefts disguised. So let's go ahead. I can see one little spot I want to touch up here. Just through there. There. Now before we go ahead and put her on, you'll want to make sure that she dries completely. All right. Take this meg off and put on the new one. And here she is with her roots all ready to go and still looking good, isn't she? Without disturbing any of the other style. And of course, you cannot see my wefts, can you? So I went ahead and did the exact same thing on Rowan. I just parted it and sprayed it. I created another part. I only did 2 parts that were close. One that's off center slightly, and then another one that's a little more extreme, because I wanted to make sure that I had the option to create a deeper part. And then I also brought it all the way down to the front, just in this one spot. I did not do the full bang across. I only did it right there on that part. And here is what Rowan looks like with that little bit of added root. Isn't that perfect? And just to show you, you don't always have to use black. I have my Meg in honey right here, and I added a brown to her roots just to cover up those wefts. And I love what it does because I matched this brown up here and it looks perfect. So don't be afraid to use lighter colors. It will work. So that is how I put roots into my wigs, and I don't hesitate at all. If I can see any wefts, that's my #1 trick, is to hide them with a little bit of dimension, deeper dimension. Just like on the brown wigs, I'll use a light brown to cover the wefts. And sometimes you can't even tell that there's any kind of root treatment on there. So don't be afraid. Just get out that spray and try to have some fun with it. And it does last through several washings too. So thanks so much for joining me today. This was really fun. And thanks to those of you who've encouraged me to do this video. I appreciate the suggestions, and I hope I'll see you next time in Coco's Hair Solutions. Bye-bye.